good morning from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome back to another segment of Men's Reflection. As we promised earlier, we promised that we'll be having amazing guests on board. And today we are blessed to have an amazing man that is making an impact in the lives of young people, in the lives of our society. Everyone that has interacted with him can bear me witness that he is doing a good job out there. We want to appreciate Canaan Resort for hosting us this time round. We are in an amazing place, as you can see, and we would want you to visit them. They have amazing facilities. We have children play center. They have an amazing swimming pool, and where we are, you can access a garden whereby you can host your party, you can host a wedding, and they are doing an amazing job. And on top of that, they also have an accommodation, and I believe that their rate card is very much affordable. So we would urge you to visit Canaan Resort. It's in Modatare on your way to Keretire, and you can get amazing services. So for today, allow me to welcome our guests, and I'm sure that we are going to learn a lot. We would want to address, and we would want him to enlighten us on the role of a man. So please, assist me in welcoming the director, Achievers College, and he has a lot of titles there. He is going to introduce himself, and so that he can assist us in understanding the role of a man, both in the church, in the society, and in the nation. So, welcome on board.
Asante sana.
Such a blessing to have you on board.
Thank you so much, Terry. And thank you to all our viewers. My name is John Mukundi. I am the director at Achievers College, director Royal Fanaka Schools, director Big Muscle Security Services, director so many places. And I am also the bishop and the founder of REiGNERS Church in Kenya, and I really appreciate God because of that grace.
Amen.
And I am also a father to two girls and one boy, and I am a husband of one wife, and more so, I am an academician. I have done professionally. I am a CPA and a finance person, and more to that, I am born again.
Amen.
I'm going to heaven.
At least, my viewers, I would want you to know that this man started mentoring us way back many years ago. He could be invited in our church to preach, and back then I think we started tracing him, and I can tell you that from where he stands, he's a mentor to so many people, and actually he's also my former boss. So congratulations for the many milestones that you have achieved so far.
Yeah.
We are blessed to have you on board, and we would want you to help us understand. You are a father, you are a husband, you have founded many things that have made you to put the young generation and everyone in the society, also considering the fact that you are bishop, you can be able to, you are feeding people spiritually. So we want you to help us understand what is the role of a man. You can kindly go back and help us to understand briefly who is a man. Then from there we can take up the role of who is a man in the family setup, in the church, in the society, and also as a whole in the nation. What is the role of a man?
Yeah, I must first of all appreciate you because of purposing to come up with this particular program. I totally believe that there are some things that as a society we have missed.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we have missed as a society is to think about the boy child, and to think about the men that we have in the society. what has happened is that we have empowered girls a lot.
Yeah.
And by empowering girls a lot, we have we have a society of empowered girls,
Yeah.
but disempowered
Boy
men.
child.
And therefore the empowered girl cannot be able to find a mate that is equally empowered.
Because the boy child is way below the level of the
Yeah,
girl.
because the boy child is way below the level.
Yeah.
And therefore we are having some mismatch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we are having problems in our society. The reason is because men are not there and they are not featuring.
Yeah.
And it begins all the way from these campaigns we are seeing. There are so many campaigns even from the government. Whatever they go, even affirmative action, it is definitely empowering the girl child, but they are not thinking about the boy child. And that is where the problem begins. It is also in church, and you realize that so many choirs are composed of the girls.
Yes, women.
And women, but we do not have a men choir. And you see they are also feeling a little bit discriminated, and they are feeling a little bit like they are left behind. When you go to the offices, you realize, and even the laws that are there in place, you realize even our legal system, it is like it is favoring girls. So you end up having, if perhaps I touch you in a manner like you do not
likely to suggest.
Likely to suggest. It is very punitive on men. But you find a woman who touches a man, it is not punitive at all. So everything, it is like it is working against men. And that has come as a result of embracing some Western cultures. And that is where we should retrace our cultures. Because I am a total believer that America cannot teach us how to maintain good families. Their families are breaking down.
Over and over.
Their families are contract families. And therefore there is no way they can teach us. But when I was growing up, though my father was polygamous, I realized that my father, they were able to stay with the wives comfortably. And until his demise, then he was able to sustain and do everything that is good. And that has really happened. What has really happened in our culture is against men. And therefore, whatever you have brought in place is a very good thing. And I believe it is something that is very, very important. So we need to retrace the role of a man. But first of all, we need to ask ourselves from the beginning, from Genesis,
the biblical point of view.
The biblical point of view. How did God create a man to be? Now, you realize that number one, men, as they were created alone. And because men were created alone, there was nothing else. The only thing that he met in the garden was animals. He met cows, plants. And therefore, you realize men will always love trees. So they will think about planting trees. Men will always think about not talking much. Women found men first. And therefore, they will find talking, a companion is what really matters to a woman.
So what you are saying is by nature, a man is not a social being.
A man is not a social being.
But when a woman is coming on board, in her she's already finding socialization being part of her life.
Correct.
Because I was having a discussion just the other day with a man that was telling me, we are still trying to have this discussion. He was telling me, women by nature, by the time they are born, they have been taught socializing. It is in them, but it is not in men.
It is natural. It is wired in them.
For the woman, it just happens.
You know, the material that made man also was mud. But the material that
That
made
made
a
them
woman
was
was man. So
that makes the difference.
that makes the difference.
Yeah.
So that is why you find women can be able to organize themselves very well in women groups.
Yeah.
They can work. But I have never seen us as men organizing
No.
until we have a merry-go-round.
You people, you cannot.
We cannot naturally.
Yeah.
Because generally we are not social. Again, men are disorganized. As I have told you, the issue about mud.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing that he met was dirt.
Yeah.
But the first thing that a woman got was the rib.
Yeah.
It was very well refined.
A well structured and refined thing.
Refined. Actually, this rib is one of the best bones. Very refined bones. And therefore you can be sure a woman will always be smart. Like you can see you're very smart compared to how I am. Reason is because women are usually created in a way that they will organize men. Men are not organized.
Yeah.
We find, you know, in school, like I remember when I was in high school, I could stay around 1 week without bathing.
Yeah. Where were you in school again, Mr.
No,
Director?
I don't want to say.
Maybe we would have given an excuse of the weather of where you were in school, but we understand. It doesn't matter.
I was in St. Paul's Kevote in Embu.
Oh, so it's not the Ngovio part. You know
not
that place is called.
So you can imagine now. Men naturally don't like issues like bathing, water. But in my house, because I have 3 girls, I have my wife, I have my 2 daughters. What happens is that you always find them very smart and in bathroom all the time. We complain about soap. Me and the brother. Yeah. Really do we go to the...
Sometimes maybe you are reminded it's
we
time.
We are reminded it is time to bathe.
I'm an aunt to 7 boys. I can tell you that you have to remind them it's time to take a shower. That one I can agree.
That one is natural in men.
Wow.
Because of the raw material
that made you.
us.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So you should not blame us. We like mud. We like that.
You don't like interfering.
We do not like interfering with such things. So it is something that that is naturally in us.
Yeah.
Now, if you realize, men also naturally they are thinkers. Women are emotional. Yeah. And therefore, what works a lot in men is actually artificial. It is always IQ, intelligent quotient. It is higher than emotional quotient. Women, what is higher is their emotional quotient, not their intelligent quotient. And I am not saying that women don't have intelligence. Okay. What I am saying is that what matters most in them is not what matters to the other person. Because you realize a woman will definitely come one day and tell you, I am not feeling like going to that wedding. Yeah. And you do not know why.
And maybe she was even ready and prepared.
And she was ready.
All of a sudden,
it
the mood
changes.
is gone.
The mood is gone. And she tells you, you ask her, what is the reason? She will tell you, just like that, nothing.
I just don't feel like going
anymore. I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
But men are looking for that reason.
And I'm sure you're not going to find it.
For that reason.
Yeah.
And therefore, you realize men are actually people that are given into an analysis. Yeah. And things like asking why. So that is why they will sit down and watch games like Arsenal and Chelsea. Yeah. But if you find a woman watching Chelsea and Manchester United, could be going in the other direction.
But maybe we are doing it so that we can join our men in their passion.
Yes.
Support, because we are told, like in marriage, you need to learn what your partners like doing so that it brings a moment, it gives a moment of interaction. You people like to be given support. So the moment I realize you love Arsenal by default, I have to be an Arsenal fan because I don't want to fight over remote. I want to watch a telenovela, and it's good to know because
Don't remind me that I was watching with my son is a Manchester City fan. And Chelsea fan.
Wow.
So my wife now wanted to support me. And therefore what happened is that we were having a game. And Manchester United scored. My wife didn't know who is scoring, and therefore
she decided to cheer the opponent.
Cheer the opponent. They are asking her, why are you cheering now?
She forgot.
That is how women are.
Work. We shift very fast.
You shift very fast. You can adapt very fast.
Yeah.
That is why when you marry, you forget your home.
Yeah, by the way.
And you go and you start calling another person mother, father.
That reminds me that we are in Christmas and there is a lady out there who has not gone home for some years because she has to go to the in-laws place. So sometimes life.
It is like that.
Yeah.
And therefore you can see there is a very clear distinction between men and women.
Yeah.
And therefore their roles are quite different. And therefore those people that are coming to tell us about equality in men and women are liars. They are not telling us the truth. Because the truth is, what a man can do, a woman cannot do. And what a woman can do, a man cannot do.
But we are here saying what a man can do, a woman can do it better.
That is now
a lie. Not what we are selling out.
That is now what has been sold out. And that is why women are not finding any importance of a man. And that is a culture that has been brought, and it is actually brought so that we can definitely get into a level whereby we bring some other cultures, some other cultures like gayism, some other cultures like same-sex marriages. You realize, what a man can do, a woman can do even better. And therefore, if a man can marry, a woman can also marry a woman.
Wow.
You see, it is.
Then why don't we, if we want to say what a man can do, a woman can do it better, then a woman should be marrying a man, not a fellow woman.
Not a fellow woman.
Because a man marries a woman, right?
Yes.
So if you can do it better, why change the gender?
Why change the gender?
You're supposed to be the one marrying on the other end. Yes.
But you see, naturally, we know that that is how it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
And therefore, it is a scheme of the enemy. Because there is that confusion of roles. That confusion of roles between women and men. Let me give you an example. Like you realize that in African culture, a woman is supposed to serve man.
Sure.
And men, naturally, they love to be served.
Oh yeah.
The Bible says, I'll make him a helper. So that simply means that Adam was unable to serve himself. That is why there were fruits there.
But he could not remember to eat.
But the woman came and picked the fruit and gave it to Adam.
Yeah, and he realized, oh, by the way,
it is a fruit.
And it is good.
And it is good. So you can imagine, naturally we love to be served. Now, what has happened in this westernized culture that we are having is that everybody can serve the other.
Yeah, by the way, yes. Everyone knows to the kitchen.
Yes.
You know the way to the sink.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe I can cook.
Yes.
But you go serve yourself.
Yes.
You go wash your hands.
Yes.
We are not in the times whereby we could see our mothers proudly serving our fathers first, even way before you were.
That is how you are losing marriages.
Where marriages have gone through a lot. But looking back, Bishop, make me understand, because this is something that I'm feeling deep in me, and I've been looking at people in marriages and all that. Could it be the meeting I told you I was in the other day? We were discussing about men and the issues of marriages came up. And the gentleman, I remember him telling me, we will have him on show, I would love you two to meet. He was telling me, naturally, when by the time a boy child is born, there is an expectation. But nobody is nurturing, nobody has taken time to mentor the boy child to rise up to the expectations. So you are finding a boy that is well empowered. I remember the guy telling me, all we were told is, you're supposed to work hard, make money. Nobody mentored or reminded us that you're supposed to be a husband and a father. So they are lost. Whenever they have made money and they have good education, they are doing well, then they start realizing, hey, something is missing.
No, it is, I have to tell you, all men are responsible. Naturally. Because I think if you find a man straying, there's a woman behind it.
Wow. Seriously.
because whatever you are seeing men doing, it is because they are too much stressed by the women. I have to defend men in this matter.
But I tend to feel as a woman, we are supposed to go with the flow. I can confidently tell you that a woman is expecting to be led. But I don't think our men right now have the leadership, or they even know what they want in their lives. That is why the empowered girl is going to toss a man to all angles, because I don't think our men have a bare minimum at the moment of telling us, by the way, hey Terry, this is as far as you can come. When you get here, you don't cross the line. The feeling of the boy child not rising up to the responsibility from our end as a woman, as a girl that was empowered, we feel you're not upping your game a little bit to be able to strike a balance between.
That is now where we began talking. That we are empowering one side. We are failing to empower the other. So if at all there is something that is called self-esteem in ladies. And there is something that is called ego in men. If you injure the ego of a man, you have destroyed that man completely. If you injure the self-esteem of a girl, you have destroyed that woman completely. That is why, if I come and tell you, Terry, this is not smart, that day you feel unsmart.
Wow, very much. I will even be thinking of going back and changing, because I was told by one person. And the fact that you are a man and you have made that comment,
that makes all the difference.
And my fellow woman, I won't feel anything. I'll be like, I think I'll take up, she's jealous.
She is jealous.
Yes.
Now, haven't you seen, even in our TV station, those love triangles? And like one I saw in one of the televisions we have in Kenya. And there is one lady whose husband was cheating. So went with the girlfriend in a certain hotel. The woman got to know, the wife got to know. And after she got to know, she went there. They had packed the vehicle. They realized that they were in the lodging. And you know, they came back. That kind of commotion came down to where they had parked the vehicle. The woman deflated all the vehicle,
the wheels.
the wife, and started breaking the windscreens and the windows of the vehicle. And the man was just there saying, Sasa, situende tuongee hii kitu. Sasa, we can talk this out. Let us solve it somewhere else. That man is actually, the ego is deflated as the tire itself.
But he caused it.
He caused it. So you can imagine, when the ego of a man is deflated, they will do nothing. That is why when you have money more than your husband, what happens is that if he is not careful, the ego will be deflated. And therefore you can be twisting him. If you have education, that is
more
higher than
than
your
you.
husband, you realize the ego will be deflated to a great extent. So what do you do in such a case when you are a man?
That would depend in case you are a man, because for a woman, naturally, I would expect that it doesn't matter the amount of money I have or the education. If at all we came together in marriage and laid the right foundation, that we are supposed to still allow this man to take the leadership. But I am very sure very few women would take up that role.
Very few women will do that. So as a man, this is how you do it.
Okay.
You use your wife as a resource so
Wow.
that you can increase. Because women primarily have three kind of men.
Okay.
Number one man that a woman would love is a man that is visionary.
Very much. Very much.
That is why you realize handsomeness is not a factor in girls. Age is never a factor in women. I have seen university girls going with very old men.
Too bad.
Figures are not a factor. You find somebody with a big tummy, with a very smart girl, and you ask yourself, what in this one is see in this? But you realize whatever the guy is looking for is vision.
It's not even physical.
It is not even physical. It is vision in that man. And whatever that man is looking for in a girl, it is not anything else. It is sex.
And maybe submission. You people love submission.
Submission.
Naturally, a submitted woman will just.
I will give her all my
anything,
money. Anything.
Yes. As far as they make you feel like you own the world.
So long as I am the king.
Yes. I wish women would understand that in marriage.
Let me also amaze you.
Yeah.
God created. Have you ever wondered why men, when they have more money, they earn women? But when women have more money, they love independence.
By the way, I think you should make our viewers. He has touched a button that I was to ask this because I'm expecting to have him on board on matters to do with marriages and the way we go about it. Please tell us, make us to understand as women, why naturally when a man, you have a very functional family with one wife, beautiful kids, you're doing well. The moment money hits in, Mr. Director, the first thing you think about,
it's another
woman. Why? You have one, you are okay.
Because naturally, there is the second role of a man, which is provision.
Oh, okay.
Men were created to provide.
Yeah.
That is why when I am a man, if we go with other men in a club, you realize men will be fighting who will pay the bill.
Okay.
Because when they provide, it feels good for them. Naturally.
Okay.
And therefore, I was telling you, men women love men who are visionary.
Yeah.
But women also love men who are caring and all the other factors.
Who can naturally make me be the woman? Because for me, being a woman is resting and being supported. For me, I'll bring submission on the board.
Yes.
But you have to show me what am I submitting under.
But also let me tell you, men will love a housewife. Somebody who can take care of the
children, the house
and everything else. But the second thing a man would love is a slave queen in you.
Now I'm lost. So I'm lost.
You know when you're a woman, and that is where wives go wrong. Man would want at one particular time to take you out and you eat the chicken, you spoil all the money, damage all the money that he has.
When am I going to remember I have children?
Now that is where now you go wrong. You have to become a slave queen at one point.
So please make us understand as women. How many hearts do you want your wife's to wear? You're married. How many hats? Because,
3.
Okay. 1.
Be a housewife.
Okay. That means the house should be clean, in order. You should know how to cook. Blah blah blah. The house
Be
chores.
a girlfriend.
How do
A
we become
professional person.
girlfriend?
A person with a vision.
Okay.
A person who will tell me, please let us change the vehicle.
Does that mean if today you want to buy a car and maybe we don't have a land, that girlfriend can tell you, this
Stop
calculation
this.
it
is not
bringing
working.
the
That one,
land fast.
that one is
The
what
car
a man
can wait.
wants.
Okay.
And
So
number 3, a slay queen.
wow, a man.
I want to see you in miniskirt. I want to see those thighs. I
Wow.
I want to see a person who can tell me, let us go to Dubai this Christmas.
Okay.
Because
So
again,
you'd also want a woman you can show up to your friends with.
yes.
And they will be like, you have an amazing.
Yes.
You're doing a good job.
Yes.
Okay.
That is something that is important.
Yeah.
That is what men would look for in a woman.
In a woman.
Yes.
Okay.
And therefore,
Mhm.
that men,
Mhm.
when they have more money,
Yeah.
they provide. So
Mhm.
they will look for other women to provide if the woman is not taking the money.
Okay. Wow.
But the woman,
Mhm.
they look for independence.
Why? Why do we look for independence when we get money from them? Because right now, the way the calculations are being done, we are almost at a place whereby the functional marriage families, I'm sorry to say, will be maybe the one without men, with the way our generation is going.
Because women, naturally, they were not made to provide.
But
so if they got to a level of provision, they were meant to receive.
Mhm.
Women receive.
But what if
And
we don't
therefore,
have...
if they find no need of having a man or anybody because they do not have that need to receive.
Okay, so the sole purpose of a man in a woman's life
Is to give.
The
sole purpose of a woman is to receive.
To receive. So do you think our men are failing in that role? That's why we are taking up all the roles and we are doing away with you.
Correct.
So where do we strike the balance? Do you think our men are up to the task of... Because I have a feeling we empower men.
Yes.
But they also have to be self-motivated to be empowered. They
Yes.
also have to take up the challenge,
Yes.
because I feel like they are not up to the game. I'm a man, it's supposed to go like this, but you also have to give directives whereby you have led. It's about the leadership, and you can bear me witness as a director and as an employer and all that. You cannot give what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to lead a woman, then a man must be able to lead himself.
Let me also tell you,
Mm-hmm.
you realize there are some men that are also created in a way that they love their children, they can become better.
Yeah.
But also women can be talented in issues like business.
Sure.
So you cannot force a man to go to business if
Mm-hmm.
their work is actually raising up the children. There are some men who will behave like that.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you're a woman that is providing, please provide, because also Bible in Proverbs 31 says that noble woman will wake up very early before it is dawn to provide for her family.
So that family includes also the husband?
Yes.
Okay. I thought we are waking up early to prepare the husband to go and provide.
No.
It's
To
for
provide.
Okay.
You work and you provide for the family.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was an amazing. I can see my director telling me that time is almost up, but I'm sure there are things that we have raised, particularly in place of marriage, the role of a man when it comes to leadership, and I would also want us to look at also what is the role of man in parenting, and I'm sure that we have learned something. My viewers have learned something. So please, we would want you to briefly tell us, in our generation right now, what do you think is the role of man in parenting?
Number one, it is discipline.
Okay.
I have realized that sometimes I have a small girl
Yeah.
And sometimes the mother would say, stop, stop. He wouldn't even tell her that I am going to beat
To
you
beat
up.
you up.
But the girl still
Continues with what
continues
she is
with what she
doing.
is doing. But I just wake up, I say, why can't you stop? And she
She's
stops
done.
and she
And she
starts
obeys.
crying, even before I touch her. And I have never beaten her. So that base,
Yeah, yeah.
there is what it does.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the children's discipline is
It's
concerned, a good father disciplines his
The
son.
child.
That is what the Bible says.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore you can be sure that we are supposed to be people that are instilling discipline in our children.
Yeah, yeah.
In parenting also,
Mm-hmm.
you are supposed, discipline will entail even giving advices,
Yeah.
will entail punishment,
Yeah.
will entail rewarding. You need to reward,
Rewarding.
yes, your children.
When it comes to the discipline the children,
Yeah.
let us be very honest.
Uh-huh.
Our men have become so busy. As I told you earlier, someone told me naturally a man has been told, work hard, have money, provide.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out that they are doing away with the parenting, and they even don't have time. To tell you the truth, there is a man that gets in the house when the kids are already asleep and wakes up early in the morning. Oh, I have a consignment that I'm supposed to clear. I have this and this. You have businesses all around. You are director of so many institutions. I'm sure you understand the busy part of a man. So how do the father, what do you advise the fathers to do to strike a balance in provision and parenting? Because as you have said, there is a place of a man that a mother can never take when it comes to fathering, when it comes to discipline and all that.
The key is very simple. Time management.
Okay.
Yes. So long as you cannot be able to manage your time,
Yeah.
you will never, and again I repeat, you will
You
never
Wow.
become a good father. So you have to subdivide your time between work, between the time you have with your children, between the time you have with your wife
And your family also.
and with your family, between the time you have with your mother and the father.
Yes,
If
that is
you
the
have,
family we are talking about.
yes,
Because they would also want to see their son.
their son.
Yes.
So you have to really become a very good time manager. Yes. And that is what I have seen in men, that so many men don't have that skill of time management. Yes.
Because now when I look at the way we are parenting our children, they would rather take up the responsibility because the social media is doing a good job in educating our children. I am feeling very pity and my heart is in pain when I see the way the TikTok, TikTok, and every other social media out there is even busy advocating for LGBTQ and all that.
Yes.
So meaning our children, not like us, Kitambo, they have access to information. And I think it's the time the father sits down and say, you could be seeing 1, 2, 3, but this is the God-given order of things.
Yes.
A man is to marry a woman. Because now if you don't do that, then families will be nowhere to be found.
Yes, I think we have had a gap.
Yeah.
And devil has seen that gap. And that is the gap that he is feeling.
Yeah.
So we are supposed to be people that fill that gap. As men and as women. We play our roles well. As wives, husbands, we fill those roles well. So that can go well with us. Yes.
Wow. That was quite a discussion. Let us hope that we are going to join hands together in making sure that everybody plays their role.
Correct.
The fathers to be fathers, to be husbands, and children to be children.
And
Because if we don't do that,
during Father's Day,
yeah.
never say, I wish all single mothers who have played the role of fathers. No woman can play the role of a father. A woman is a mother, not a father.
Even if it doesn't matter how much you provide.
It doesn't.
Wow.
Provision doesn't make somebody a father. Siring makes somebody a father. Yes.
That is deep. And for that, we want to appreciate you so much for accepting to come on board. I'm sure there are so many things that we can learn from you, and we can also be able to tackle how our single mothers, we have a very rising number of single mothers in our generation. We would also want to know, you can also come on board and help us to understand how can a single mother parent boys to become responsible men, because as you have said, if they cannot be fathers, then they have to be mothers. But how do they balance the role of a father who is not there and also the role of being a mother? So we want to appreciate you so much for coming on board. I'm sure that we will be having you, if you allow us, it will be a pleasure to host you again on discussion of so many other things. But for this time, we are going to post it up to there to our viewers. We hope that you're going to visit our channel for this and much more discussions of things that are affecting our society. We want to focus on understanding the world of a man in so many roles as we have discussed here, and we want to appreciate you for being part of this journey. We are so much grateful, and we pray that God keeps you for us and even for much more episodes. Watch out for the other one. I'm sure that we will be discussing issues to do with what is it that we need to do for a boy child and the challenges that the boy child will be facing in the education sector and all that. So please hit that subscription whatever, and have yourself a notification every time we have a new video coming up. Don't forget, if you're in Embu County, to visit Canaan Resort for the facilities and good services that they have. So for now, God bless you, and may He do you good.